What it is? How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about James and the Giant Peach, a retro review for the ages. We're going to talk about all the things. We're going to talk about trifling aunts, giant bugs, trapping and enslaving seagulls. We're going to talk about the whole thing. So if you want to hear what we have to say, sit back, relax, grab a snack, grab a beverage, and listen on in to the first ones to die.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the First Ones to Die podcast. We hope you are doing well on this wonderful, wonderful day. My name is Jonathan. I am here with Alex and Jerome. How are y'all doing?
I feel like I should be like Martin. Rome in the house. Jerome in the house. Rome and Rome.
See what you started?
I was here last week. All right, they missed all that.
Oh, that's true. All right,
missed all this energy. I'm drinking strawberry soda.
That's helpful. That's gonna make things great.
Uh-huh.
I'm doing good. I'm tired today. I don't know why I keep yawning, and it's so annoying. And I think I just need I'm just gonna sleep the whole weekend away. And I love the idea.
That actually sounds wonderful. How has your week been? Has it been tiring?
It hasn't been bad at all. It's been really busy at work, but actually pretty chill. Nothing too exciting. I do have a question for you guys. This is something I saw. Would you rather be adopted into the Wayne family or the Wakanda royalty?
Wait, the
Wakanda royalty.
Wait, the Wayne?
Yeah, like
family?
Wayne.
The
like
Wayne.
Bruce Wayne.
Oh.
Would you rather be adopted into that family?
Would you rather be a Wayans brother?
Or Wakanda family?
Yeah,
the Wakanda royalty.
Are you saying like the Wayans brother? Why the Wayans specifically?
I mean, they have their own dynasty going on. No, the Bruce Wayne Batman family.
Wakanda royalty.
Or Wakanda royalty.
Why would anybody want to be a part of the Wayne family?
I do. I'd rather go there. No, and I'm going to tell you why.
Gotham is a crappy city.
But I'm going to tell you why. No, and I actually thought about this. I saw this earlier this week, and I've been thinking about it for over a week. The Wakanda family would still make me act right. All right? There's rules and set. But being part of the Wayne family, I could do what I want. I would have the rules of a straight white male. I could get away with anything.
Wouldn't.
Yeah, I would.
No, you wouldn't.
Bruce is not parenting those children.
Yo, Alfred does. You still have to deal with Alfred.
Yeah, and there's 20 of us. He's going to not pay attention to one. That's how it was in my family.
Can pay attention to them all right? He is very attentive.
I would have all the money in a poor shit town. Think about what I could have control over.
Yeah, too bad. Good luck trying to use it while Bruce Wayne's using it to fund all of his Batman adventures.
And clearly he still has enough money.
And also, if you live in the Wayne family while Batman's still around, he's going to turn you into a Robin. So you're going to have to train and do a lot of physical work to become a Robin.
That's still going to be part of the Wakanda family. I got to train with them.
No,
I don't have to
train.
No, she's smart though. I am not smart, Jerome. I am not a clever person.
But if you don't want to be Black Panther, all you got to do is
I threw my keys in the dumpster 4 times, all right? I am not a clever person. I do not belong in the Wakanda family.
I'll cut us off here because this will turn into another podcast. Jerome, how was your week?
Something I have to live and accept with.
I went to San Antonio, Texas. I went to Texas. It was good. It was fun. Saw Rob in Dallas.
Oh,
yay!
It was a fun time. We got to hang out for a little bit before I had to fly to San Antonio. And that was great.
I miss him. I hope he moves back up to Seattle soon.
Yeah, he's
if
doing
he can.
good.
Yeah,
that is still the plan.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So it was a fun trip. Got to do the river walk. Went to this really cool retro bar, or barcade called Be Kind Rewind. It was super cool. Coolest part of it was I have pictures, but the coolest part is the bar behind it, like it had like the shelves, where they have all the drinks and everything, like the bottles.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the side of it were these 2 LED screens that made it look like it was a VHS tape playing, like spinning.
Wow.
And the bar looked like a
cool.
big VHS tape and like a tape player. It was really cool. And then there's just neon lights everywhere. There were a couple of great photo op little places. Like there's one part where you could walk into this hallway, and at the end of it, on the other side, it looked like you were inside of a claw machine, like
Oh, that's cool.
game claw
Oh,
machine.
nice.
There was all types of photo ops like that all around. So it was a really cool barcade. I highly recommend it if you live in the San Antonio area. So that was fun. And then we saw the Alamo, which is like one of those like weird history things where it's like on one hand, sure, I guess it represents American rebellion. On the other hand, though, it also represents like this is what it's like. Like never discredit the ability of racists and slave owners to get together for a common cause, because that's who came to the Alamo. There's a lot of people who immediately after that conflict was over were the same people who were like, all right, and we're seceding from the United States because they won't let us have slaves no more. So, but there were some freed, black people there too. So you can't, say black people weren't a part of the Alamo story, because there's some black people there too. One against his will because he was just a slave, but there was one guy. He's got a statue in the Alamo right now. He's a freed man, made a conscious decision to go over there and fight at the Alamo. So.
And that's History with Jerome. How are you doing, Jonathan?
That's my history hour.
History 101.
Tune in next week when we talk about Pearl Harbor.
Wow, can't wait. I'm looking forward to it very, very anxiously.
Tell us what black people were in Pearl Harbor.
They were there.
Jonathan,
All
how
right.
was your week? I'm going to move
And
on
with
from that.
Mine was good. Speaking of royalty, I have been binge listening to the audiobook Spare by Prince Harry that came out this week. I was anxious about it. If you listen to our expectations from this year and last year, I talked about it. And it's been really enjoyable so far. I'm about halfway through the 15 hours of listening to Prince Harry talk about his life. We just got through his time in the military, and we're currently at around the time when his brother got married. He did not, from my listening of this book, his brother and him do not like each other. Like, and they never have. They might, they might love each other, but they've never liked each other.
It's because he has hair. That's what it is. That's where the beef starts and ends at. It's just like, you still got your
Well,
hair.
William
you
had
bastard.
hair, and then he started playing more into his family's games. I tell you.
But yeah, it's been really good. Listening to the audiobook, more enjoyable for this particular book, because he has a very good way of reading it, and just overall his tone of voice in writing the book in general is overall really strong as well. I also watched The Menu this past weekend.
Ooh,
Oh, I
what'd you
still
think?
need to watch it. I still need to
I
watch
really
it.
enjoyed it.
Careful
I
with
won't
your words.
spoil anything, but I thought it
It's
was really
good.
good. Yeah,
It's good.
I had a fun time. And I've been going back to Abbott Elementary, which has been an enjoyable time. So a lot of
You
media
been
that
going
I've
back
been
to elementary school? You got
Exactly.
here substitute teaching? Or
Yep.
are you just doing some teacher assistant, some volunteer work?
Yep, me and Tyler James Williams.
Nice.
We're substitute teaching, and it's been fun. So a lot of media consumption for me. In 2020, in 2023, I told myself I will, read more, watch more movies, and watch more TV. Which
I still haven't watched Atlanta though.
Ooh.
Hey, we'll get to that, okay?
Damn.
Did I put that in any of my expectations? No, I didn't. So until I do, then you can get on me about that. But I will. But today, we are here.
Speaking of peaches, because Atlanta and Georgia.
We are here to talk about James and the Giant Peach. That is right. This is another retro review for you. The 1996 film tells the story of an orphan who lives with his two cruel aunts and befriends anthropomorphic bugs who live inside a giant peach, and they embark on a journey to New York City. The film stars a whole bunch of people, including Paul Terry, Miriam Margolyes, Joanna Lumley, and some of the voices of Simon Callow, Richard Dreyfuss, Jeff Bennett, Jane Leaves, Susan Sarandon, David Thewlis, and again, Miriam Margolyes. Margolyes. Basically, for our retro reviews, I feel like we usually just get into it. We don't usually do a spoiler section because the movie is almost 30 years old.
Yep.
So yeah, we're just gonna dive into it. Alex has not ever seen this film. Alex, I'll go to you first. Until now.
I have a list. I got questions.
Oh my gosh. Is that a
How
printed
do you
off?
have questions?
I have questions.
Did you type this and print this?
Yeah. Because I have very bad handwriting. First off, why is it in every like Tim Burton and Disney film? Why is it that there's always like three siblings? The one attractive sibling who marries a good person and then dies, and then the two horrible siblings. Like, who's raising these people that they're doing this to them? Also, I'd be evil too if my mother, named me Spiker or Sponge.
Spike and Sponge.
Spike and Sponge. Like, what is with those?
I feel like those were nicknames.
That was the names in the film. That's not better. My mom, they called me Sponge when I was little. That's not why I'm cruel. Why is no movie in Tim Burton's films structurally sound?
Well,
what is going on with that? Why are all of them tilted like that?
No, it's Roald Dahl wrote this. I read the synopsis of James and the Giant Peach. It is actually very faithful to the book. This is the book, like verbatim.
And I figured even with the style, even with some of the stylistic choices, like the sets, especially that first set when they're on an island, and the set when they're in his house when he's under the care of his aunts, it looked very like storybook-esque. It looked very like you were watching a play or something.
It looked like a very narrow, high up house.
Mm-hmm.
Like there looked like there were two rooms and then another floor and then another two rooms on top.
Mm-hmm.
What's crazy is you could tell that this movie is struggling to make this story work as a film. Because literally when I read the synopsis, the story is like so ridiculous. But it's a children's book. It's supposed, it can be. That's fine. But it's just like trying to make it a cohesive movie, though. I don't know if I would have took this project on because like I would have struggled. Because like, for example, the rhino thing, that happens in the book, but it's not like here where rhino feels like a metaphor for like his fears or whatever. Like in the book, it's just a rhino just shows up and eats his parents. That's just it. That's just
I was gonna ask about what was with the rhino, because the rhino it appears in the movie as a cloud in the cloud.
I did not remember the rhino aspect. Maybe I did like faintly.
Were they in a safari or did it just pop out of nowhere?
I feel like I feel like the rhino is a metaphor for something. Maybe his parents died of cancer or something, but you can't say that in like a kid's movie. So they got eaten by a rhinoceros, and that the metaphor is like at the end of the movie when he's like trying to defeat the rhino, and he's like, "I'm not afraid of you. Like, I don't care what you throw at me in life. I'm not afraid of you. I'm never going to be afraid of you." I thought that was what the metaphor was. Like, I'm not afraid of cancer. Let's just say it's okay. They died of cancer.
So
which is stupid. You should absolutely fear a rhino.
Here's what the Wikipedia says. It says, unfortunately, when he is 4 years old, an oddly carnivorous rhinoceros escapes from the zoo and eats James's parents. So...
an oddly carnivorous
escapes from the zoo and just decides to eat his parents. I don't know why.
Well, then the rhino definitely is a metaphoric
for
figure
cancer
at the end of the movie. Because
in the movie, yes. In the movie, it's clearly a metaphor.
oh,
it's
okay.
clearly,
I thought you meant in the
no. In the
movie.
book, it's just the idea of like I can't. The struggle of trying to take the madness that is the book and interpret it into a movie that's cohesive. Is because also another thing, James doesn't like the crocodile tongues thing. That's in the movie. That's made for the movie. In the book, it's just diamonds, like magic diamonds, and then he spills them. The peach gets giant, and he just gets in it. He doesn't eat the peach and then become like a version of it, like like animated or whatever. He just like finds a hole in the peach, climbs in it. There's giant bugs, and then the centipede disconnects the peach. The peach kills his aunts, just smushes them as it rolls out the fence, and then the book continues from that point forward. So it's like they definitely did it up where they made it more even more kid centric, but also a little more metaphorical for a lot of stuff.
Why do none of these parents have proper guardians set up for their children in case of death? Because clearly you see how horrible your siblings are and the people in your life that you for some reason keep in your life, like a series of unfortunate events. Yet you have not legally set up proper care for your child in case of death.
Well, this takes place in
1948.
So
there were lawyers there.
The foster care system wasn't established at that point, or it was established, but it wasn't what it is today, which is not good as well.
But we don't know if these are the only guardians that they have access to, because we never get information if he has grandparents or.
So if this is the best result, that really says something about their side of the family. And he would have been better apparently in an orphanage or something. Why does he who crawls inside a peach? Why is James doing that?
Curious
is it
little
worse
boy.
than what he's already at?
For real.
You know what I mean?
You go inside a peach? That's weird.
At least I'll die
weird.
fruity. I'll die fed. You know what I'm saying?
That's a statement. Anyway, I really don't know how to move on from that. That sentence right there just stopped every thought in my head. All of a sudden this list does not seem important anymore. My questions.
What else go on?
That's your new catchphrase.
There you go. Rather die fruity. I like it. Who eats the who frees? Should I give it? Who frees the peach again?
Who frees?
The centipede, Mr. Centipede. He cuts the stem.
I feel like a centipede, an earthworm, and a glowworm is kind of redundant. No? It feels
Who's
like
Talks to Roald Dahl, man. This is what he wrote. In fact,
yeah.
Well, I can't talk to him. I'm talking to you all. Does it not feel redundant?
In the book, there's even an extra bug that they didn't even put in the movie, Mr. Silkworm.
So it's even more redundant. Also, why are all these little bugs hanging out in one peach? Is it because the peach is so large? How'd they get to the center? Wait a minute. Now that I think about it. No way.
It's a children's story, Alex.
I got something else.
Polar Express all over again.
and in Polar Express, I didn't have a list. Okay? So there's some more questions. Did they get to the center of the peach when they first ate into it? Or was it that they were just on the side of the peach?
No, they're on a part, because the pit is in the center.
So they never make it to the pit in the original, they're just hanging out inside a random hollow part of the peach on the side of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chilling.
But they've made a little cave. They've made it their, a little homey area.
Oh, great. You know how sticky a peach is?
Look, when you're trying to run...
You're acting like bugs care about stickiness.
I'm talking about the human boy.
Especially a spider.
The human boy that's sitting in literally. Also, isn't that?
I'll deal with some stickiness for a weekend if I don't have to deal with those crazy aunts for the rest of my life.
With the monsters, because first of all, when they show up, I was like, God damn, y'all need some Jergens right now. Y'all skin bad. What the world is going on?
That's probably one of the main things that I remember from watching this movie as a kid is how scary the aunts look. Still. They look scary.
Especially
especially I
Spiker.
always thought her name was Spider. It's Spiker.
Joanna
yeah.
Lumley, especially, like they did not do like no shade to Joanna Lumley, but she
Little
like
shade.
they they did not like. Dude, like she just plays that role so well. I could see her playing like wicked stepmothers and like all that stuff. You know,
Sometimes I mean you just look at like Danny Trejo. He looks like the bad guy.
yeah. Some people like she just has that like that like which is good because that means she don't have to fight for work. It's like
true.
You know, what I mean, there's somebody's got to play the bad guy,
Mm-hmm.
and I think she's still acting now. The last thing she did was in 2022, Motherland.
Oh, she was in Wolf of Wall Street.
Really?
Yeah.
If you look on her IMDb though, and look at her pages of when she was young though, man, she was gorgeous when she was young.
So yeah, a little shade to her.
um,
So James turns into an animation every time he goes inside the peach. That means when they live in the peach pit.
No,
No.
he just like when he eats the crocodile tongue that goes in that specific part of the peach, he turns into an animated boy. When he spits it out when he lands, when they make it to New York, he's back to being a regular boy.
Oh, okay. Then that I was gonna ask, does he just turn into an animation every time he goes in and out of his own house now?
Yeah, the animation thing is, I never realized how, because I remember when I first saw the movie, I never really questioned it, but it is a weird thing where they do acknowledge that he looks different when he eats the crocodile tongue, but they never acknowledge in what way, because the bugs still look the same when they arrive in New York, but but they treat him no different. So I'm like,
did the
okay,
bugs eat the crocodile tongue?
Well, they were in the peach when it absorbed it. So that's why they also got to be giant and can talk and stuff.
As a kid, I always likened it to like the Wizard of Oz. Like when you go to this brand new world, everything is different. Like the world is different. Like where the Wizard of Oz, she goes to Oz and everything is in color. When James goes in the peach, everything is different. It's animated. It's claymation.
Okay, I'll give you that. Those are two sound answers for that statement.
I love how Tim
One's more
Burton,
whimsical than the other.
he was just like, I mean, should we make another, how much more mold do we have? Not much. We need another pirate though. We need the main pirate. What are we going to do? You know what? Screw it. We still got Jack Skellington over there. Put that in there.
I was going to mention that. This was my first time realizing that Jack Skellington was in this movie.
It's just Jack Skellington. It's just like
they didn't even try to make him look different or anything.
Right.
It is just him.
He looks exactly like Jack Skellington.
Yeah, it was like, okay, that's clearly him.
And I looked it up. Nightmare Before Christmas came out before this, so that is definitely. It's not like that was a model and then he moved it into Nightmare Before Christmas.
Or it could have been like both were a model, and he's like, I'm just going to use this for everything.
And
I bet if you look closely at Tim Burton's films with any claymation, you'll find Jack Skellington.
Yeah, it might be a thing of that. I think he's in other movies too. Jack Skellington.
Maybe.
Why didn't the peach fill up with water when they were in the ocean? There's a giant hole. How did they not? The peach should have been like churning.
The hole patches itself back up. Remember when James climbs in it patches itself back up. So there is no hole.
How is there any light in the peach?
Because the skin is thin. So the sunlight just peers through.
And the holes from the gate that surrounds it.
Oh yeah, and then it also has been punctured like 16 or 17 times from the fence. So that's
how he can breathe.
The walkway. Yeah,
and from the top as well.
And the top opens and closes, and it's technically it's like a latch that can constantly open and close. So there's got to be oxygen coming in and out. So it's fine.
Are you guys enjoying these lines of questions?
You act like
I will say I respectfully.
No,
that you guys have some pretty good answers.
I'm just saying, I know you're not for real because you still like Sharknado, a movie filled with nothing but nonsense and non-realistic.
No, these are real questions. With Sharknado, I have answers to those questions.
No, you
they are
don't.
not legitimate.
No, you don't.
They are not like.
When I asked you why they're time traveling, your answer is, well, the title says time travel in it, so therefore they can time travel.
No, it's because the tornado opened up a vortex to into the future. I just said thought that would be easiest. You put too much thought into Sharknado. First off, it was a time.
Too much thought into James and the Giant Peach
because I want to know some stuff. You're gonna have me watch this. And how did they catch all those seagulls? How was that aim so good?
You saw how they caught the seagulls.
They showed you.
Their aim was far too good for all that.
Verbatim.
And shouldn't it have like killed the seagulls because they're like kind of grabbing it and then pulling it? Like that seagull should have snapped in half or something.
Now they were light about it, they were light the way they pulled it down. They didn't just yank it because then they would have snapped their necks.
You're asking about the seagulls before you ask about the robot shark that is spitting out these things.
Look, if it involves sharks, I kind of just give everything a pass.
See, that's another thing. Here's the funny thing. That the robot shark is weird because in the book, the sharks are just sharks. When the Peach lands, it's just regular sharks just swarming around. Why did they change it to a robot shark? I don't know.
Because everything robotic is better. Should always make things. I went to the zoo lights, Woodland Zoo lights here at the Woodland Park Zoo in Seattle. Yeah, they had did you see the robot grasshopper?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. See? How cool was that? Robot animals are cool. Robot humans are scary.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense why the robot shark is even hunting them down. He's just like, because he doesn't know what peaches taste like.
He's hungry.
But he doesn't know what peaches taste like. He doesn't even know what it is.
Because
like
apparently when you get like those crocodile tongues, you turn into a real boy. So he wants to turn into a real shark.
When I feed my dog bacon for the first time, he don't know what bacon is, but he know that it smells good. That's how the shark was feeling. He smelled the fruitiness of the peach. He's like, ooh, that smells good. I want some of that.
There you go. Everybody wants that peach.
Everyone wants to die fruity. Look, the point is...
Next question, Alex.
Should I continue? Well, good job in answering all my Atlantic Ocean questions. When they get there to New York, which, by the way, where are they exactly? Because now that I think about it, were they in England?
They're in London.
I think so.
Yeah, they were in
close
London,
to
right?
London. They were on an island off of the coast of London. So.
And that's why they traveled to New York. Why did the ants think they were going to get away with murdering a child with stolen axes? Like they could have gotten
the jig was up. They were just like, man, but it's like we don't
you
have
can
to crowd
get
anymore.
1 or 2 years, especially in 1948, 1 or 2 years probation for child endangerment, whatever. They did an attempted murder and theft. That's like at least 5 years back in 1948.
Here's the thing: you act like if they like any punishment man could do to those clear demons that have escaped from hell would suffice like to taking them down. They don't fear the law. They don't fear the trappings of man. They are above that. They literally drove a car through the ocean underwater that was damaged back to New York. That takes a level of magic and hell magic that cannot be. That can't possibly be understood.
You know, that really wasn't addressed either, that they drove a car through the Atlantic. Does that mean James could have just stolen the car? Do they have crocodile tongue too?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Is that why they look the way they were? Are they bad witches? Didn't he also, Rodell? Is that how you say his name? Roddle?
Oh, Roald Dahl.
Did he...
Roald Dahl. Did he also write that book, Witches?
Yes, he did.
Oh yeah, see, there you go. They're just the witches from the witches book.
It all ties together.
I remember that book.
Yeah.
And Charlie and the
all-
Chocolate
it's-
Factory is somewhere in the world.
It's
Also-
all the same universe.
all
It's a
connected.
multiverse. It's a multiverse.
No, don't say that.
Um,
All right, they're gonna start the Roald Dahl universe of movies. All of it ties together.
I could see them doing that. Just
There's
like
gonna
those
be
little
an-
glimpses back.
It's gonna be an
And the
Avengers
Avengers are
level threat at some point where it's James. He's gonna get the bugs together. They're like the Guardians of the Galaxy of that universe. And then the witches are, like Suicide Squad. You've got Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. They're doing their thing, and there's other Roald Dahl books that I can't remember right now.
They made that movie The Witches for HBO Max in 2020 with Anne Hathaway, Octavia Spencer, Stanley Tucci.
I've been wanting to watch that. It's on HBO Max.
Nope, because they
Yeah.
removed it in August 2022.
Because it wasn't that
that's-
great. That was one I was
still
like,
wanted to
okay,
watch-
that makes sense.
The only thing I remember from that movie or seeing parts of that movie is that the girl who gets trapped in the painting. Is that yeah, where the little girl gets trapped in the painting and she slowly ages.
I mean, I don't remember that part. I just remember the mice and stuff.
I didn't watch the movie, but that's a scene I know that's in the movie.
But the Witches remake wasn't great. It's mainly just because of the over reliance on CG to make the witches, especially Anne Hathaway, which because I feel like the makeup would have been fine, but they tried to go all CG with it, and it kind of just looked weird. But yeah, Octavia Spencer was good in it though. She was great, and the main kid, who was a black kid, he was good too.
Because he was black.
I mean, not because he was black, but that did help a little bit because he had soul, he had rhythm, he had life to him. He was great.
Are the centipede and the spider married?
No, but there is implication that the centipede is like feeling Miss Spider. I mean, how could you not? You see those legs? You see those boots? She's got style. She's got grace, and she's French. There's implications there that the kids don't understand, but the adults do.
That's what I was like. They kind of have that vibe, and then they're like, "Oh, it's like the mom and dad to James now."
No,
call
that's
Charlie
Grasshopper and Ladybug. Those are like mom and dad.
No,
Centipede and
because
Spider
I've
are
also
like
pronounced
aunt and uncle.
No, Centipede is James's father. Spider is the mom. Earthworm becomes James's uncle or cousin. Ladybug becomes the aunt. And the grasshopper is now James's grandfather, and glowworm is now the grandmother. Does that mean the grasshopper and the glowworm are together?
You made that up, all right? The Grasshopper is just Grasshopper, all right? He's his own man.
Wikipedia.
He's a man of adventure.
It's Wikipedia. It's on Wikipedia.
What?
Yeah, the last paragraph of Wikipedia has that. James, it is printed. I do have this also printed out because I was doing research. That James introduces his friends, blah, blah, blah. The Peach Pit is now made into a cottage in Central Park, which is by public property. Again, why is somebody taking this child into actual custody care? Where James lives happily with the bugs.
My parents, they're bugs.
Oh,
The
yeah.
bugs are
The
his
spiders.
The spider and the centipede,
spider-
of course. How could
Mhm.
I mean, who look who raised me, so I can't clearly judge. Who form his new family, also finds success and fame in New York City.
Oh.
Mr. Centipede runs for New York mayor and is now James's father. Mrs. Spider opens up a club and is now. It's a little weird that Mrs. Spider opens up a club.
Well,
And is now his
clearly,
mother.
All right, you didn't see the beret. Like she wants to be like what's her face from the Extremely Goofy movie. Remember that girl who also had the black beret? Disney is nothing if not constantly repeating themselves. Like like just has the beret. Clearly, she wants to own a nightclub where they do slam poetry and also talk smack.
Well, it's also
Wait,
French.
Mr. Earthworm becomes a mascot for a skincare company? When did
Yeah,
this
at the
was
end of
never
the
Yeah,
movie.
this is
yeah.
it's in the credits.
It's-
As the
they
credits
show, like,
roll, you
newspaper.
See,
Oh,
the
yeah.
newspapers of what they're
That's
Which
right.
actually is kind of
Mhm.
creepy because he's next to like two beautiful women and it's just this ugly like earthworm.
It's true. It is weird.
It's actually really creepy.
It's very weird.
The other ones look respectable in their photos. but the earthworm. And then Mrs. Ladybug becomes an obstetrician, which I don't. Why is the ladybug delivering babies?
Because ladybugs have tons of babies.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Like all these other ones kind of make sense.
Ladybugs
like-
in nature have tons of kids, so so just play on that theme. She delivers babies because she's delivered plenty of her own, so she can stand to reason.
I
She can
feel
deliver
like
other people's babies.
So she doesn't really have a real goal of her own. She's like, well, I'm a breeder, so let me help other breeders.
She's look,
She's qualified.
She's a grandma, okay? All she wants to do is spend time with other people's children.
She's James's aunt.
Regardless, she wants to spend time with kids. That's what she wants to do.
And
don't shame her for her goals of wanting to be an obstetrician.
I'm just saying it's a little weird. I've had a lot of children, so this is it. Where'd she get her medical degree? Who is allowing a ladybug in a hospital to help deliver children?
She went to MIT.
That's
clearly
be
got
so
her
many,
doctorate.
like, health code violations.
Not MIT. I don't know why I said that one specifically. She went to Yale.
MIT. She went to
She went to MIT for obstetrician to be an
to get her
obstetrician.
doctorates
That's even worse.
to deliver children. Like, engineering, doctoring, it's the same thing.
I mean, honestly, the more I learn about like the birthing process and the pregnancy, you really do like need an engineer. It's so fucked up.
But but she's got a degree clearly, or else they wouldn't let her in the hospital. They wouldn't. She's not just gonna show up and be like, "I'm a ladybug. Let me get on in there. Spread those legs, ladies. Let's go."
Okay, we're gonna move on from that. Mr. Grasshopper becomes a concert
You can move on
violinist.
from that. That's gonna be in my head all week. No.
Does it take the place of?
Everybody wants to die fruity.
My stomach hurts from laughing so much.
I don't.
Oh my
I feel like
god!
my questions now aren't the most ridiculous thing on this podcast now.
Did you guys watch the post credit scene?
No.
There is one. The only reason I knew there was one was because Disney Plus, when the credits started rolling, it said skip credits. And I knew they wouldn't say that unless there was something at the end of the credits. So I skipped the credits. And at the very end, you see someone inserting like a coin into like a video game machine, or like what would be a video game in like the 1940s. And it's it's called like I forget what the name of the game was called, but it's called Strike the Aunt, I think. Yeah, it's called Strike the Aunt. And the rhinoceros comes, and like you can hit the aunts with the rhinoceros, and you can like play the game and hit the aunts with the rhinoceros, and they're like tied to a thing, and it's like a little game. It was kind of cool and artistic.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back and watch that now.
Yeah.
Funny enough, thinking about, because this movie did pretty well in the award season. It was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Music, Original Musical, or Comedy Score. It did win Best Animated Feature Film from the Annecy International Animated Film Festival, and Best Animated Film from Dallas-Fort Worth Film Critics Association. So it's been pretty well, and I forget that Henry Selick directed this movie. Henry Selick directed a lot of Tim Burton's like movies that had the like stop motion and stuff, because Tim Burton is like a producer on it. Same thing with Nightmare Before Christmas. Like he produced it, but Henry Selick is the one who actually like directed and made.
So he actually did all the work.
Well, Tim Burton like had the ideas. He did the sketches stuff. So he was like a big part of the creative process, but Henry Selick was the one who had the knowledge of how to do the actual stop motion part of it. So like, and that's why he's credited as director, because like the stop motion part, that's all him. But Tim Burton did help like design and stuff like that. And it's interesting.
And he brought over the skeleton figure as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you need Jack Skellington.
Well, he said, hey, I just had this in my bag. Let's use this as a pirate.
Well, he's just such a great director. Like the way he directs the stop motion is so solid. And he's still working today. He just did that movie with Key and Peele, Wendell and something on Netflix.
I know what you're talking about. Wendell and Wild.
Yeah, he just did that movie. So he's still doing the stop motion thing, man, and he's still good at it. I think the only thing about Wendell and Wild I thought was weird was that most stop motion films,
wait, no spoilers.
Well,
okay.
no, most stop motion films you don't see, like, because the way they do them now is they have like magnets for their mouths and stuff, so that way you don't have to keep like forming it with clay. You can just make multiple pieces, and then you just magnetize the mouths to the face of like which one you need it for each for their, so their mouths can move and for their eyes, all that stuff. In Wendell and Wild, you can see where the disconnections are. Most animation studios, like Leica, for example, who did like Kubo and the Two Strings and Coraline and stuff, they're based
in Portland.
They are. There's gonna and they replace that stuff so you don't see it, so it looks seamless. Wendell and Wild, you see all of it. You see all the production. It's so weird. It's just, but it's a stylistic choice. It's not an accident, but it's just a weird thing. But anyway, I say all that to say Henry Selick's great. I think this movie still holds up when it comes to the stop motion part of it. It looks so smooth, still looks really clean. It's just great. Even just with the way fabric moves and the way he does like string and everything, it just looks great.
I would say I did like when it was animated. I did like it. It looked cool. It always did look cool.
That's
it was
the thing.
Really seamless, yeah.
For
being the older movie that is.
Oh, sorry.
Done?
Sorry, Alex.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, a piece of me wishes that this whole movie was animated, though. Because I don't feel like the live action really does anything for the story. And since he doesn't physically change in the book, it's kind of weird why they didn't just make the whole movie animated.
I liked the transition to animated. I feel like you're entering this new world. There's a transition. You go from this dreary live action, because we're in the live action world right now, and sometimes it ain't that great. And then you go into this magical world where you're animated with these talking bugs. I think that's a cool way to kind of portray that change.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. Like when you mentioned with the Wizard of Oz, it was like adding color and flair and like a new beauty to it, almost turning it into a whole different world. And that showed it a lot when it went to animation, because it allowed you, because when you're like a kid and you watch animation and cartoon, it's like, oh, this is a world I can't live in, but I would love to live in. And this allowed it to show that it's also separate from reality too, because bugs can't be that giant and animated. God help me if they were, I would freak out. Oh, I learned about the Atticus spider in Australia. Ha! No.
Or the what's it called? The
Huntsman
that giant crab. What's that giant crab that you see that's like as big as a trash can?
Oh. I forget what it's called too, but I know what you're talking about. These giant, it's in Australia, I bet too.
Of course, Australia's the place.
The
of
coconut crab.
Giant, evil creatures.
Look up the coconut crab.
I don't want to look.
Try not to squirm.
Crab.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
But
it's like that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Did I see what?
Oh, I was gonna change this topic kind of.
I was just saying it's magical, but now I'm thinking about the coconut crab.
I just love the idea that Miss Spider at one point is mentioning how like they're talking about how delicious the peaches are, and then the peaches, and she's like, "Yeah, it tastes great. It tastes better than this, and even more tasty than ladybugs." And I love how Miss Ladybug's like, "Hold on, what? What did you say?" And Miss Spider never answers that, and I'm just like, "Yeah, y'all didn't realize y'all with a murderer. She has killed many other bugs. I am sure of it."
Or maybe she's talking about her partner.
Regardless, she still killed them.
No, I mean, like, she tastes them as in, like...
Make this better, Jonathan. Make this better.
No, like, she tastes them as in, like, you want a taste of it? Like, you know?
I don't want to be thinking about that. I was going more literal, like National Geographic, spiders eat bugs, and not in that way. And like you're just.
Well, everybody wants to die fruity, so the way to go.
Hashtag for this episode, die fruity. But the thing is that I was also going to go to, apparently there is talks of possibly remaking this movie.
Yeah, I saw that. Sam Mendes was involved previously.
Yeah, to be in negotiations with Disney to direct another live action adaptation of the novel, with Nick Hornsby in talks of the script. In May 2017, Mendes was no longer attached to the project due to his entering talks with Disney about directing a live action film of Pinocchio. So Pinocchio kind of took over. I
used to love Pinocchio as a kid. I used to love Pinocchio as a child.
I feel like I don't know, like all the Disney live action. I mean, this one wouldn't necessarily be a live action remake because there's a live action element to it. So really, you just got to kind of do it again. But I'm not prepared for the bugs to be CG because that's what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? Like, they're not. I highly doubt they're gonna call Henry Selick back and be like, "Hey, Henry, you want to do some live action bugs again?" Like, they're gonna make him CG, and they're gonna make the movie longer. This movie's a tight hour and 30, like if that is even less than
an hour and 20.
Yeah, so
yeah, they would drag it out.
They're gonna make it like 2 hours long,
and it's gonna be a whole fleet of sharks, not just sharks. Like a whole ocean of them. Mm-hmm. They're gonna come attacking.
Although I will admit that, like, the one part of this movie, if we have to talk about a negative, the music. The music in this film has not always.
You didn't like the music? That's what it was nominated for an Oscar for.
There's so many, like, not all the songs are bad. I like the Peach song, and I like Big City. It's, you know what it is? It's his song. I hate to say it, and I feel bad because
My Name is James.
When he starts singing his song, My Name is James, and it's not him. It's the writing. The lyrics in this song are so bad.
Are you saying Randy Newman?
That's what I was about to say.
Song?
You dissing Randy Newman right now.
Isn't he the man who wrote "You Got in Front of Me"?
Listen, everybody has a bad day. All right, everybody has an off day.
that you just stumble into an Oscar nomination for.
He wrote the rest of those songs fantastically. That one though, that one specific song was the one that made them not win the Oscar.
Oh,
I'm willing to bet you because they got nominated, they didn't win it. So,
who won that year? Let's see who won the Oscar for Best
97.
Music.
Was it the words that bothered you, or was it Paul Terry?
It was
singing?
the words. No, it was the words. Paul Terry, like, no, because he's a kid. He's only gonna sing, but so good. But
I don't know.
But the words is what was weak for me. I was like, this is not like this is the weakest one of the group.
Because he's a kid who just lost his parents. Did you want a chippier tune or what?
Okay, no, Alex, you know the world of musicals, all right? We're not gonna pretend like he's writing the song too, all right? Pocahontas didn't just have just around the river bend just in her back pocket all the lyrics ready to go whenever she felt happy to sing it. Like,
I don't know. She had like just around the riverbed. She was singing what she was doing. I do that. I sing about my lunch a lot. I didn't know that until Jonathan pointed it out one day. But like sometimes you just sing what you sing.
so I assume you just assume that Phil Collins is hiding in the trees while Tarzan's swinging about, singing his jams real quick every time Tarzan's around.
Yes, and Tarzan's kind of stupid because he was raised by apes to realize why there's a man just singing in the trees.
Phil Collins. Two hearts, one family. Oh, snap, he sees me.
I'm more concerned about the fact that Jane didn't see him.
Yeah, this is just that one song. I did not like it. Did not like it. The rest of the music though is all right. You know, the two bug songs. And that song when the grasshopper's playing the violin, fantastic. Love that song so much. And the end credits song. The song Randy Newman sings at the end of this movie, the end credits, I was jamming. Because he's like, it had that gospel flavor, which that's where Randy Newman got his musical prowess from, is that he hung out with a bunch of like jazz and blues musicians. So that's why he has that like in him to make music like that. But it was fantastic.
I forgot how good of a singer Randy Newman was.
He was. Emma won that year. Emma, like the movie, the 1996 movie.
I don't remember that movie.
Neither do I.
I know they've done remakes of it before, or after, like in recent years.
Yeah, I don't recall that movie. I'm sure the moment I like see it, I'll be like, oh yeah. Like off the top of my head, I don't recall it at all. But I hope Emma was worth it. I guess Emma's better than James.
Paul Terry, though, he's not done a lot of stuff as an actor.
He wasn't a cute looking kid.
He did Tears Before Bedtime. He's in like 2 episodes of that. James and the Giant Peach. He's in a show called Micro Soap. And he was in a Lady Gaga music video in 2011. Those are his acting credits.
Wow.
There's not even a picture of what he looks like today.
Oh.
So
his career fell.
Hey, it happens sometimes.
But he did a great job in the film.
Yeah, he did. He was pretty good.
Technically, he wasn't really even in half of the film. His voice was. They didn't even use him for all of it.
Listen, LeBron is in Space Jam 2, dang it, even if it's just his voice.
That is crazy.
Or
That's
his body.
weird to think about. The fact that he's only 9 years older than me. I feel like
how old is he?
At least like 50 years old. He's only 37 right now.
Wow.
Did you find a picture of him?
Weird? No, I just see his age on Wikipedia.
He's only 6 years older than me. That's weird. I didn't like that thought at all. This has been a weird ass epised. And I don't like anything that's coming out of it.
What's funny is you look up Paul Terry, the first thing you get is former child actor.
Oh man, he couldn't even get like an adult credit.
Oh dude, he looks like he just is out here like, I don't know, doing stocks and bonds now or something.
It says he's a teacher now.
Oh, good for him.
That makes sense. Yeah, he looks like the type of guy to be a teacher.
That's a respectable career path to go down.
Yeah.
Compared to a lot of child stars, he did well. He ended up well.
And he can always say, no matter what, hey guys, like to his students, be like, hey, you know, just so you guys know, yes, I am in James and the Giant Peach. Your parents have probably shown you my movie. I am around to sign autographs if you would like one.
Unless you meet an adult like me who has just watched it. Be like, who the fuck is you? I was always aware of James and the Giant Peach. I just never really watched it. Last comment I have is, it's not really a question, it's just more of a statement. I was super uncomfortable when all the children were eating the giant peach. I found that disgusting. One, it was rolling
especially because the peach was on top of the Empire State Building.
It was on top of the Empire State Building. It was rolling through the Atlantic Ocean. It had a bunch of seagulls above it.
Right above
God
it.
knows, yeah.
Pooping on
Like,
it.
yeah, and then it's rolling around the damn streets of New York City.
And it
Not
was
my
in
child.
the ocean at one point.
Yeah, it was
So-
rolling through the ocean. And it had bugs and people living in it. And all these children in footy pajamas are just coming and eating it. Also, this is New York City. Why are you letting your children run around at damn 2 a.m. in their pajamas to go see a giant peach that just fell from the sky? Your child should be in bed, and 2, where are you
to
with
do
this child?
What? Not sleep? You hear all that commotion going on outside? There's police,
I'm not go-
firefighters, cranes, all types of stuff happening outside right now.
All right, I will admit I probably would be outside because I need to know what's going on, especially with all the
Right,
problems.
'cause
with
it's
that.
like
I'll
this
be
giant
outside,
peach is
but
just in the
still, I would
sky.
not be allowing my child to run up and just suckle on a giant peach. It's weird. It's weird.
They'll die fruity. Look,
Well, they're definitely getting like poisoned or ingesting something. God knows what's on that peach's skin. That's also been
my
poked hole.
issue is the mysterious man. No one ever like that. James is too trusting of a child. Cause that is like too trusting. Cause that man literally just pops up and he's just like, here, take this bag of all these magical crocodile tugs.
Yeah, that
Like,
was
and don't question that that's what they are. That's just what I told you.
that was the
Just
1940s
assume
for
that's
you.
what it is.
That was the 1940s.
And what's messed up, it's crocodile tongues. Like crocodile tears or like crocodile scales. Okay, but these are tongues. Why
that have
is
been
this man
boiled
walking
in like all this magic and stuff, and like with like all these different potions and everything else.
like something like a scale? Okay, cool. Tears, all right. But tongues is like, did this man rip out you? Jerome got a
Yeah,
little
they have-
excited about the tongue. He got a little excited about those crocodile tongues.
Hold
You
on.
couldn't. No,
Hold on.
other way. All right.
There we go.
Hey!
Got it.
Nice.
But why tongues? Ooh.
I just love the idea, and the aunts don't see this man. And I'm like, this feels like a very short lawn or whatever it is, because there's not really any grass, so it's more like rocks. But
So they
short
should have
like
seen-
yard. They should have seen him. There's no way they didn't.
He appears at the end too with his magical tongues and goes like, "Oh look, the story's completed." And it's like,
Right.
"Sir, how
Even
did
before
you get
that,
there?"
At the
He's
end,
the
I did
one
like
in the crowd who's like, "Let the boy speak."
because I did like at the end he basically said that James wanted to share this story with everyone, and you just watched the way that he did that. He decided to do that. And I thought that was cool. That was kind of cool.
The idea that James became a director and made a movie and hired hired a bunch of people to make it.
Do you think that the old man is just James time traveling?
That's what I
Possibly.
thought it was
Force
going
out?
to be. Is that it
Yeah.
was going to be that the old man was going to be James, which would be really interesting if he's like, James, you listen to me. Take the crocodile tongues. Don't spill them though. But you spill them. But they're
We're
like
going
also
back to the Atom Project.
Look, it really is Marvel.
like they gave me time traveling technology, James. I need you to
And
take
I give you
these. He's
Crocodile
created
tongues.
a time loop. He's created a paradox where it's constantly.
We're in the
This is-
multiverse. James
the
and the
version
Giant
of
Peach started the
James.
multiverse.
This is the version of James that didn't escape the island, and so but magic exists in his time, so he's made a magic concoction, went in a time machine, and he freed another version of James in a different timeline, where he's like, "You don't deserve to suffer what I have. You see me? Look at me. I am clearly homeless in another time period. Take these these crocodile tongues. Save yourself."
Also, to put into context the time period, back in 1948, the Empire State Building was the tallest building in the world. Now it's number 54.
Yeah, because it's like the building in
terms of-
Dubai, right? Is the tallest building in the world.
The tallest,
like tower.
yes, the Burj Khalifa.
I remember when the Sears Tower was also the world's largest building in the world, and now I think that's like in the 20s or something.
Why do we keep building tall buildings? It's not necessary. It really is.
Because architectures are trying to compensate for other things.
Have we learned nothing from the Tower of Babel? All right.
Clearly not. Apparently, people in today's world have learned nothing from anything ever. Just look at the state of where we are. And clearly we have not learned not to eat food off the floor because there was all these children eating the peach.
To be fair, it was on a truck. All right. They're like, okay, I know this. I understand this. The fruit is on a truck. I'm eating it. It's like, I'm getting it off this truck.
I'm going to go eat something off a truck now and let's see how safe that is.
No, I just mean, when people drive in fruit trucks and they're just like, here, take this thing of truck. They take this thing of fruit. It's good to eat. It's fresh.
Still no. Still doesn't sound safe to me.
I just love also the cop doesn't look at these two ladies who are just like, yeah, we're definitely taking care of this child. Oh, so then you can explain how it is that your child that you're supposed to be the guardian of was on the top of the tallest building in the world on a giant peach unaccompanied with anybody.
Well, they were right behind him in their car in the ocean floor. They were following. He was there.
And more importantly than that, clearly you haven't been taking care of him enough because he's telling tall tales about giant bugs and flying peaches. All right, so he's clearly got a mental health issue. Y'all are not to be trusted.
I loved, usually in these types of stories, when the villains get caught or whatever, and the hero is, up here and the villains are down here. Usually the hero will be like, that's all right. You already got your revenge. You can just go away now. Or like police take them away. No, James wanted to torment these women.
For real, because he's like, Miss Spider, get they ass. And then when you get them, wrap them up too. Drink the blood. Hold on, wait a minute, James. Yeah, that's right. Rip their legs off too. Mr. Centipede, start snipping.
I think the spider would have done it.
James, chill, James.
Spider would have done it. Because they tried to kill the spider first. The spider had
That's true.
The spider was in its right to murder the ants.
Miss Spider probably would have been like, so can I eat them now? Whoa. Eat them? Well, chill, lady. It ain't that serious.
Yes, it is. It's always that serious for children.
Funny enough, though, I think it is like when he did disagree, when he said no, and then her neck snapped, like just audibly snapped, and she looked at him like, "What you just say to me?" I was like, "Oh shoot, James, you need to run. That's your ass." Something that changed in her. She got the devil in her. You need to leave, James. Don't stick around here no more. You've got all these witnesses. It's like they'll back you up when they see her transform into like a dragon or something. Get out of there.
I mean, a dragon wouldn't be the weirdest thing they saw all day.
That's true.
That's all the things on my list. So,
who the heck would come to just see a giant peach?
Have you never driven through the fucking Midwest? That's literally there's a giant ass thermometer out there. There's a giant toilet. There's a giant chair. There's a giant Ted Bundy.
Yeah, wow. But even then, those people.
What's the guy with the axe? What the guy with the axe?
Paul Bundy.
You said it wrong too.
Paul Bunyan.
Paul Bunyan.
I said Paul Bundy.
I know because I said Ted Bundy. Paul Bunyan. Yeah. You have to wait in lines.
Okay. Well,
the giant ass.
Yeah, I only know that from TV because, like, on TV or in movies when there's a road trip, they're always like, "Ooh, let's stop off this exit to see the biggest ball of yarn," or something like that.
Biggest ball of yarn is in Kansas, and I have always like weird accent just came out there. I have wanted to see it.
It makes you want to just bring a knife and just start cutting,
and then get arrested.
And
maybe you. Yeah, those things exist out there. I would totally go see a giant something. I think it's fun.
A giant King Kong head?
No, that's terrifying. That's fucking terrifying. The eyes move and the nostrils flare. No, because it's gonna become real suddenly and eat me.
I love though that James is just sitting there, and you could tell that he could not cry on command because they had to put a tear. The tear's just sitting there. It's not moving. It's not nothing. It's just sitting on his cheek the entire time. Like they just placed it there. Like, all right, James, don't you move. Don't tilt your head because then it'll start dropping and you can't make no more. Just sit right there and look sad.
It's called the manly cry because they always have that one tear right there. It's
Well,
like perfectly tear shaped too.
Which there was a great shot where James is looking and it's like the silhouette and you could see the tear in the light. It looked great. It was a great shot, but it was one of those things where I'm like, but that tear ain't moving. It sure is just
you know what?
I feel like
that it was like a sticker. I feel like they put a sticker like right there. They're like it's a little crystal
or like
hot
a
glue
gel or something.
Hot glue. They put hot glue on that child.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me they didn't put hot glue on that child.
Slander at the highest form, all right? There's no confirmation on that.
Look me in the eye and tell me you would, if a story came out that they were like, yeah, it was hot glue, you wouldn't 100% believe that. Yeah, that's what I thought.
So I guess wrapping
final
up,
thoughts.
I enjoyed it. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it was fun. I'm glad it was succinct. 120 minutes. Not 120 minutes. An hour and 20 minutes. You can't beat that nowadays. Like we were saying, people want to stretch things out nowadays. But if you can tell the story in a certain amount of time, then do it. All right. And I enjoyed it. There were a few things that I had forgotten from when I was a kid, and as we've discussed, whether or not they make sense in terms of the context of the story, I enjoyed it nonetheless. My favorite line was when I think it was Mr. Centipede jumps off the peach. Someone else said, I think Mr. Cricket says he's committing pesticide. That got me.
That was good.
I love that. But overall, yeah, I enjoyed it just as much as I did when I was a kid.
Yeah. It's a good movie. It's a great film. I think it still holds up as far as like the stop motion. Like it definitely does look like older stop motion compared to how we do stop motion now. But it still definitely is still solid movie. I think the live action bits definitely do look like a play. Like you could tell they're like just one set is like, look, this is what we built. Goddamn, you just gonna have to roll with this. We're not going to any.
They spend more money on the animation than anything.
More than likely. So, but it works. It works to make this feel very storybook. Like this feels like a very storybook type movie. Almost like watching a children's book come to life. And I think that was the goal. So it works really well in that way. And I think all the acting is great. I think the aunts are fantastic. Like, even if, they, like, you might think like, oh man, like they're kind of mean. Like that's the point. They're supposed to be really, really mean, and they sell it. They do a great job. And all of the voice actors, we didn't really talk about them that much, but Richard Dreyfuss, Susan Sarandon, Jane Leavis, Simon Callow, and David Thewlis, all great, great acting. Just sells every line they say, and if they sang all their songs too, also fantastic with the singing. So it was just overall a good movie, a classic film, well directed. And if you have kids, or if you want kids, definitely keep this on the brain as like a movie to show them when they're old enough and you think they can handle people getting eaten by rhinoceroses and crazy ladies that look like demons.
Alex, your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are more on you two. I do appreciate, thank you both for answering my questions so well. In regards to the movie, although some of the things you guys have said tonight will will haunt me forever. But I thought the movies in general were
Can't
pretty.
wait to see the TikToks for this episode.
Oh yeah. I already got some plan. I thought the movie was cute. It was a cute film. It was one of those films that was definitely made for a kid, but it was also made for an adult to enjoy as well, with the little references, with the little French spider. I like the color, even though the color contrast in the film, even though during like when they were in the ocean, they were dealing with the Arctic storms and stuff like that and the sharks, and it was a little darker and gloomy. It was still a more vibrant color compared to when he was living at the house with his aunts. And then even the color contrast from like the beginning of the film, even though it was during the day, to New York at nighttime, it was still so much brighter in lighting as well compared to the beginning to the end of the movie. Showed definitely how much he felt lighter and how much he was, happier to be finally in New York. I think, yeah, if you have kids, definitely a recommendation for them to watch. I think it's something they won't fully appreciate until they're adults, because they're like, hey, it's a peach and I get to go hang out with baby. Although, teach them not to eat fruit that has fallen on the ground. That movie does send that message to them.
This peach went through a lot in this film.
It had. Sometimes, it's okay not to eat the fruit. You can, mash it up,
Adam
bury
and
it.
Eve,
Not really where I was going, but I was going to say
that apple came from a tree. That's a completely different issue.
I was saying you could just use the fruit to either for compost, circle of life and all that.
True.
But
they could bury it although they say they ate it down to the pit, the whole city.
So that means somebody was eating some bird poop. Somebody was eating some dirt.
You could just wash that off, just take some hot water, just wash that right on off, and then peel the skin off, because it's only on the skin. And just, and then
I'm never accepting fruit if I go to either of your guys' place. I'm just saying.
I wasn't defending the fruit eating.
We're just saying this is this is how
I said people were
peach,
eating bird poop. Does that sound like something that I would enjoy?
So all around, I'm glad I watched this movie. And I really have nothing else to say. And I went through my whole list, which was nice. I got I got things in.
Tell us if you've seen James and the Giant Peach. What did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Why? Comment below if you're on YouTube, or just message us or something on our social medias, or at Gmail at thefirstones@gmail.com. If you're just listening to this audio version wise, tell us what you thought about James and the Giant Peach.
Nice.
Anyway, socials.
Yes. You can find me at Jonathan Keys on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you please. You can follow us at The First Ones to Die everywhere on all our social media channels. You can follow us, The First Ones to Die, on YouTube. Subscribe to us. Give this video a like. Go ahead and comment. What are your thoughts? Do you have nostalgia towards James and the Giant Peach? Let us know. Also, if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, go ahead and give our podcast 5 stars. Go ahead and review us as well. We would really appreciate it. Alex, where can people find you?
You can find me on Alex and Nobody on Instagram and on TikTok. And on TikTok as well, you can find the podcast, The First Ones to Die, where I post little clips of the podcast video, and then also some hints of what we might be watching next week. And, well, also random things I'm doing throughout the day, because I get really bored at my normal job. So I need to be entertained in some manner of way. What about you, Jerome? Where are we finding you?
You can find me at Jerome Rhett on Instagram, as well as at RoboZoo Media, and at Jerome_the_show to see all the other stuff I am working on creatively. And also check out the YouTube channel to see a bunch of extra content that you can't get on our audio platforms. Stuff like mini reviews, book reviews, vlogs, gaming videos, and recorded versions, film recorded versions of all of our podcasts, so you can see our lovely faces if you would like. And also be on the lookout for when we start streaming on Twitch again. Currently, we were in the middle of playing Stray. We'll get back to it as soon as we can. But be on the lookout on our social medias when we announce when that happens. So you can be there live to see me and Alex playing that game. And maybe one day all three of us playing a game of some kind. So, be on the lookout for that.
There's a cat that dies repeatedly in that game, too.
That's on us, though. That's up to us. As long as we're good at it. Like, if we're good at the game, the cat lives. Next week, tune in next week for Samurai Cop. Yeah. It's happening. Those who know. Those who don't know, you finna find out. Tune in next week.
I don't know, so I guess I'm finna find out.
I'm finna find out, too.
We'll see you all next week. Have a good week, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.